Hi everyone, this is your host Michael with Make That Bloody Movie with Coffee, and in today's episode we will be talking about 5 tips for submitting to a film festivals for filmmakers. Well, you know guys, being an independent filmmaker in this day and age, I mean, you have a lot of people giving advice, a lot of people telling you as an independent filmmaker which way to go, how to do things, which way to steer your career and how things should be done. I mean, there's a lot of convoluted information out there, and I think that some of that information can really confuse and distort upcoming filmmaker, in their quest of being in this competitive business and becoming successful. I think being an independent filmmaker, what we all need to do is take every information that comes across our table and take it with a grain of salt, and things that we can use it. Things that we feel that it's not suitable for us, dismiss it. But I don't believe there's a right or wrong answer to what makes an independent filmmaker successful. I think each and every individual filmmaker has their own path that they have to create and make. And I think it's not like it's a one-size-fits-all for everybody to copy. I think there's blueprints here and there with each filmmaker. But at the end of the day, it's really depending on the person, on how they tackle their career and, how they go down that road. So, that's something to keep in mind. Today's episode is 5 tips for submitting to a film festival. These tips are just tips I came across. I use them. They seem to help me, and I just wanted to share the information with you guys. As I go along through my journey as an independent filmmaker, I will be sharing with events and projects and situation that comes up, in this field and outside of this field, because, being an independent filmmaker, it doesn't just stop with you creating, writing, and producing. It also continues with connecting with people, hearing stories from other people, and really, I would call it a life experience. Life is a movie. So yeah, I think that's what I'm trying to convey to you guys is I'm going to be sharing everything. It's kind of like a audio and a little bit of visual journal I'm giving you guys. So, okay, let's start talking about the 5 tips for submitting to a film festival. Okay, tip number 1 is you need to create a spreadsheet to keep track of your submission. A lot of times when you're submitting to a film festival, we tend to submit to a lot of film festivals, but we don't bookkeep the film festivals that we submit to, and sometimes it could tend to be really difficult. The best thing to do is to have an Excel spreadsheet, and each film festival you submit to, mark down, keep track of them, and put dates, and just kind of keep a what they call a ledger of when you submit to them and how fast they respond to your submission. So yeah, it's definitely, you can use Excel. Microsoft Excel is one of the software that I use, and it helps me keep things in order when I submit to these film festivals. Okay, tip number 2, create your film festival submission accounts and EPK before submitting. Pretty much with this is one site that I use. Actually, there are 2 sites that most film festivals use when they want you to submit to them. One of them is called Film Freeway and Without a Box. I have used both of them. Without a Box charges a higher fee. I have to say I like the user-friendly and the platform of Film Freeway because it's more interactive and pretty simple, straightforward, and their fees are not that high. And what makes Film Freeway really good is that they also give you discount coupons. I wouldn't call them coupons, but like percentages off of some film festivals just for registering with them and creating a profile, which is pretty awesome. So definitely check that out. What they also said in tip 2, having your EPK first. I always it depends. Some people tend to do it ahead of time. Some people tend to start the process of putting all the paperwork into EPK, and then as they film and get their project done, it's usually right after they're done with their film, they start putting the last final pieces to the EPK. And I had actually I think it was about 5 years ago, I had a filmmaker. He actually did his EPK before he actually filmed his movie, and it was really interesting how he did that. He actually had production still shots already, and I don't know how he broke down his film before that, and I didn't go into it to ask him, but he always did his EPK before he was done with his film. So it's interesting, like I said, in this field, everybody has their own style and their own way of tackling things. So that's something to look at as well. But definitely the 2 film festivals website to submit to films is Without a Box and Film Freeway. Okay, tip number 3 is stick to your budget. When submitting to a film festival, it is very important to budget for your film festival submissions during pre-production. If you don't, you're going to find out towards the end that you ran out of money, or maybe there's a certain amount of film festivals you wanted to submit and you didn't include that in the budget as part of your marketing tactic, and that tends to leave a filmmaker shorthanded and they're scrounging for money. But usually what I could tell you on average, a short film, you will end up, when you submit, you'll end up paying for a film festival submission $25 to $55. And for a feature film, you'll end up spending $40 to $80 per submission. So just keep these figures in mind. These figures can change as, every other year. Film festivals, due to cost of certain overhead, they may increase the price or they may keep the price the same. It all depends. But yeah, definitely factor your how many film festivals you want to submit to, and factor in the amount of money it's going to cost into your budget, almost under the category of P&A, so and marketing. All right, tip number 4: make contact with any film festival programmers you already know. Any film festival programmers that has been supportive of you in the past, that you have submitted in the past to them, tend to ask for their contact information and stay in contact with them, because 9 times out of 10, if you don't get, let's say you get into a film festival last year and you didn't win, but the panel know who you are and they really liked your film, but it was just a really tough choice. Usually I've seen what happened is that when you submit to the same film festival again, usually it's weird. Things change and they know you, and you tend to end up winning in a category. Not necessarily, that's not always the case, but I've seen it happen to one of my colleagues that it happened that way. So I thought that was pretty interesting. And he kept in contact with one of the programmers at the festival, and he was able to get in, and they gave him the whole red carpet and stuff. So that was that was pretty funny. But yes, definitely you want to keep them in mind. Always ask for their information, and say, just be straight up. Say, I want to, stay in touch. I really love your film festival, and it gave me the opportunity for exposure and representing my art, and I would like to stay in touch with you guys. So tip number 5 is develop a thick skin. Rejection comes with the territory. This particular tip, all of us, we go through it, and I'm not going to touch base on it as much because that's just straightforward. When applying to anything, even to a regular job, there's always a chance of you getting rejected, and we're not getting what we want, or we have a vision in mind and it just doesn't happen at that moment. But it doesn't mean it's not going to happen. It's just we get creative people. But yeah, you have to develop a thick skin. And 9 times out of 10, what I did learn, and through colleagues of mine, people in my circle, they've told me that, sometimes rejections doesn't mean that your project sucks. rejections, you could take it two ways. You could take it as, they're assholes and they don't give a fuck about my project and they could go kiss my ass, or you could take a different approach like I do. And I always say, well, why did they reject my script or my film? Was it something that was I didn't do right? Was it the sound? What is the editing? Was it the lighting? Was it the acting? Was something kind of off? And believe it or not, I did ask. I think it was one film festival I submit to, and they rejected me. And I said, what was the reason? That particular film festival said they were overstocked with films, and I didn't meet the cut because they had an overabundance of films submitting, and that's why they couldn't take everybody. Another film festival said the reason why they didn't take my film was not because they didn't like it, but was because that the sound quality wasn't as clear as they wanted to be. I thought it was, but they say it wasn't. So, but like I said, develop a thick skin. You have to in this business. 9 times out of 10, you're going to hear people say things we don't want to hear because we're very passionate about our project. But just keep a positive attitude about it, and keep in mind that rejection doesn't mean you suck. It just means that there's something we need to learn before we can go to the next level. And that's all it means. So those are my 5 tips for submitting to a film festival. I hope they help. If they don't, it's okay. I just wanted to share that with you guys because these are the tips that I use when I apply to film festivals and strategies that I partake in. And I just wanted to share them with all my independent filmmakers out there. And, any information I come across, I will convey and relay to you guys as well. Because, there's so much information out here. Not all of us is going to see everything. So I believe in sharing is caring. So, but thanks again for listening to my podcast. This is your host, JR Michael with Movie with Coffee. And I didn't forget, I know it's been a while, guys, since I've said the coffee of the day in my show, and I'm going to start to say that again. I kind of fell off a little bit, but the coffee of the day I had was, it was called Kimbo. It's Espresso Italiano coffee. It's really strong, really good actually, and very tasty. And it's full flavor, little bit of milk, sugar, a little, Italian coffee cup. It was excellent. I'll be taking a picture of it so you guys can take a look at it. And just wanted to share that with you again. Coffee of the day is called Kimbo Espresso Italiano coffee. All right, everyone. Thank you for joining and hearing my show and Make That Bloody Movie with Coffee. I'm signing out with 5 tips for submitting to a film festival. Remember, peace, love, and kindness. Always remember that. And let's us all artists out there share our love, our experience, and our, gratitude. All right, everyone, I'm out of here. Peace.